Hi, I'm Ryan. I'm a principal here at Collectiv. Today we're going to be discussing the top 6 things to know about making a Power BI governance plan. The main reason it's important to have a Power BI governance plan is because we're making a large investment in this new software, and it's very important that that investment not go sideways. Lots of times when we roll out a tool, especially a tool that's targeted at self-service, it can kind of grow into the wild west of reporting. One of the things that we want to ensure is that we're giving all of the members of our team guidelines and a framework so that they know how they can contribute in a productive manner. The first part is to design an intelligent and collaborative security approach. Power BI and Microsoft's tools in general tend to be very, very flexible, and it means that you can use them in pretty much any way that you want. Sometimes this can allow us to get into situations that are less than optimal once we're down the road a bit and we've scaled our usage. One of the things that's most important with governance is ensuring that the right data is accessible to the right people and, importantly, not accessible to the wrong people. So it's important to think about who's going to have access to these reports and what are they going to use that information for. One of the best ways to craft this plan is to have a structure of people. So people are going to be the ones who are creating, enforcing, and a part of any security plan. As a result of that, we usually like to call out particular named roles and responsibilities. Things like report owner, data set cleaner. It's important to have representation both from the business side and from any IT or even business side support that's going to be technologically owning the reports. So that then once everybody knows what their role and responsibility is, it's very easy to broker access and to make things flexible down the road. One of the key parts of this flexibility is trying to use Microsoft's technologies, things like Azure Active Directory or security groups. This allows us to bundle together access as opposed to having one person in, one person out as a management strategy, which obviously can become cumbersome at scale. Number 2 is to create a report catalog. A report catalog allows people to see what is available to them regardless of whether or not they have access to it. While promoted and certified data sets are discoverable by default or by selection, it's still important to show everybody throughout the organization a curated set of reports, who owns those reports, and who they can contact to get access. One of the things that's important to remember about a report catalog is that we want to focus on centralized reports or reports that are going to be used many times. Ideally, in a self-service environment, Power BI reports can also be used in an ad hoc fashion, but we don't necessarily need to go crazy trying to get every single report into the report catalog. Let's focus on the things that people are going to use frequently. Number 3 is to maintain a data dictionary. A data dictionary is a little bit different from a report catalog. While the report catalog shows people all of the reports that are available to them, the data dictionary helps people make sense of what they're seeing. One of the things that a data dictionary can do is tell people where the data that they're looking at was sourced from, how it was transformed, and then what the basic calculations were that are giving you the number you see now. This can ensure that multiple people aren't getting different answers to the same question. Similarly to the report catalog, we want to make sure that we're pretty targeted with the data dictionary to make sure that it's not an insurmountable lift. One of the things that I like to say is if this data is critical to a critical report, then it should be there. But if it's not critical or it's not in a critical report, it's probably something that can be skipped. I like to focus on just the top 10% for right now and keep moving down the road. Number 4 is certified data sets. Certified data sets are important because they signal to the organization that this particular data set has been vetted not only by the tech side, but also by the business side of the business. What this allows people to do is trust that the logic has been verified so that then they can connect to these data sets and build ad hoc or self-service reports themselves without having to recreate or even understand all of the business logic underneath. As I mentioned in the report catalog, certified data sets can be set up to be discoverable to the entire organization. This allows people to understand what core data sets have been created by our centralized hub for their access and reporting use. The process of certification is also one that's critically important for every organization to decide on as a part of their Power BI governance plan. Within Power BI, only a certain number of people for the entire tenant are labeled as dataset certifiers. Now, these people typically aren't the ones who actually do the certifying themselves. They are the people who are responsible for following the business's certification plan. Every business should have its own certification plan where they decide what are the steps that are necessary to ensure that these numbers are right and ready for group consumption. Number 5 is to control workspaces and roles. In Power BI, workspaces can be created very easily. This is a good thing. It allows people to share reports with their coworkers and to create little teams so that they can collaborate on the work that needs to be done. However, this can also create a situation where there are more workspaces than are actually necessary for the different types of access that people are encountering. It's important in these situations to try and take a structured and preemptive approach to workspaces. One of the things that I usually suggest to our clients is to look at all of the different functional areas of their company. Typically, reports will fall mostly into these categories. So these are a great place to start thinking about workspaces that should be made. For each workspace and for the tenant itself, it's important to talk again about named positions of responsibility. So who is going to be responsible for making sure that all the reports in a workspace are clean and still being used? Who's going to be responsible for making sure that the refreshes are on time? Who's going to be responsible for granting new people access? All of these questions are things which should be thought of before a workspace is made instead of after. Number 6 is to employ row-level security. Using row-level security, Power BI has the ability to understand who it is that's accessing the report. Based on who that person is and access rules that can be set up dynamically, a report can actually be filtered to only show that person the data from the same report that they're supposed to see, whereas another person can log into the same report and see totally different data. One of the reasons why this is extremely important is because instead of making 15 views for 15 different teams, I can make one view and put in row-level security with 15 groups, and now my maintenance and governance just became 15 times easier. Thanks so much for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe, comment if you have any questions, and visit gocollectiv.com to learn more about working with Collectiv.